Welcome back to our live colour advice sessions. My name is Fiona. I am the Taubmans colour specialist, and we are here this evening to help you with any projects that you're embarking on. So we are online live streaming for the next half an hour. So it's an opportunity for you to upload any questions that you may have in regards to colour or any projects that you're embarking on, or if you would like to know some information about our wonderful portfolio of products that we have available to help beautify your space. This is the platform. You're in the right place. So, as I've just said, I'm on screen for the next 30 minutes. So while we're doing that, and look, I really love receiving your photos. I think it's fantastic, and it's a great way for me to visualize your space and to certainly help you and offer you some advice. But while we're streaming, you're unable to upload photos, so please hold back until we finish that. So 30 minutes, we'll be here streaming. Once we go off, I'll be behind the scenes for the next half an hour, if not an hour or so, until we answer all of your questions. And then I'll certainly have a look at your photos and can offer you some advice then. So look, second week back. It's fantastic to be back in the seat. Probably still a little bit rusty, but we'll go through tonight. Look, it was great last week's session, and I thank everybody for tuning in and for sharing colour projects that you're embarking on, and certainly for asking for some colour advice. So, you know, as I mentioned last week, over the holiday break, we've been embarking on our own renovations. It seems to be a project that's sort of ongoing. And so I thought tonight we are actually going to focus a little bit on exteriors, and I'll sort of go through a little bit and show you the project that we have almost completed and show you the colour scheme that we created with Colorsmith. Now, if you've been following, I'm just checking my feed to see if we have any questions. So do please pop any questions onto the stream, and I can certainly do my best to answer them for you. So we purchased what some may say a renovator's delight. Probably delight's not the word that I would ordinarily use, but considering we're sort of in a live platform, it's probably the best way to describe it. And look, my wonderful husband, who like me he's got a great eye for colour, design, etc. So we sat down and we discussed how we're going to get this space to work for our needs, and you know, how we feel we can capture where we live and really bring the outdoors to life, so to speak. So I would really like to, I'm going to take you through that in a moment. But what I really want to reiterate and really hone in on tonight is to get you all thinking about the importance of colour. Look, colour for me, and when I'm talking about colour and when I'm helping consumers in store and when I'm colour consulting, etc., and helping people to bring their visions to life, I think a lot of people don't really take into account that what colour can do for your space. So we've talked previously about using colour to make a space, feel larger. You can certainly use colour to have a focal point within your space, whether it be interior, exterior. Colour can really become your signature in your space. So you can use colour to create an emotion. It can really affect you, colour. So I really do think that don't underestimate the power of colour. And for me, when I look at a space, when we're talking about whether we're doing an interior or exterior, colour is the one thing that really brings the design to life and can bring the design together. And you would have heard me talk about, look, colour doesn't just have to be what's on trend. And, you know, it's fantastic too. And don't get me wrong, I love the trends of colours, etc., and I follow them, and I think it's wonderful to see, you know, some of the things that were perhaps in the 80s being brought back to life, and 70s, and appreciation for, you know, for what was going on in those eras being revamped or reloved now, if you like. But it's not just about having what's on trend, it's about you. So colour really is personal, and for me within this space, and you would have heard me, I love green, and I'm the sort of person, I guess you could, if you were to describe me, I'm a go, 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 go sort of person. And I'm always on the run, and I'm always thinking about this, and I've got this idea and that idea, etc., etc. And green to me almost grounds me. It makes me feel really calm. So I guess that's why I like to surround myself with green. So that's my, if you like, colour story. That's what colour does to me. So if you are embarking on you know, you're about to go on a color journey because you're about to do an exterior or an interior, have a look at colors, work out what you're drawn to. And if you even like, have a look into the psychology of color and the physiology of color, of what color can actually do to you and how it can make you feel, because color is amazing. So, as I talked before, when we've talked about principles of design, and one of the elements of design that I think is really important in a space is having balance. And so when we talk about color, it's important that you use color and you use it in a balanced way, if you like, because that's going to help you to create that perfect design. So, you know, and it's about where you put the placement of color, and it comes into the intensity, etc. You know, so whether you're using one color, which I've used, if you like, in this backyard that I'm about to show you, we did use one color. We picked a greeny grey, and we created what's called a monochromatic color scheme. So it's using the one color, but you're focusing on tint, tone, and shade. So you're going from a darker tone to a lighter tone, and to achieve that, you might be perhaps adding a little bit more white or a little bit more grey, etc. And you know, using a monochromatic color scheme it's very it's non-jarring. It's very pleasant, and personally I think it can be quite stunning, and especially if you couple it with some neutral tones, perhaps a beautiful grey and a white, you've got that perfect balance, which is what we want to achieve. So I'm going to share with you my space. And you know, the thing about when we are talking about creating a design, and we're talking about where we're going to put our colour, if you're not sure where to start and you're not sure what you're drawn to, I recommend creating a mood board and having a look online at things that appeal to you, researching. You know, you might be about to put a pool in, and you might particularly like a white deck, for example. So, you know, in your Google search engine, you might pop in pool with white decking, etc., and then you can start to look at images and see what appeals to you, even right down to your plants and things. And you'll start to notice that when you're doing this, you'll start to see a trend happening, and it's like, oh, actually, you know, I've picked 5 images with that really appeals to me, etc., etc. And it's a really good way to begin your journey. So I'm going to go from the screen, take you to my iPad, and just show you a mood board. So I will pop myself up into the corner so that you can see me. So this is a mood board that I created for my outdoor area, if you like. So it was what appeals to me, and you know, what's going to serve our purpose, if you like, and what we like. So we started to create collate many images and put them into one sort of folder, my husband and I, and looking at things that we both agree on, etc., what we both like, etc., etc. And then the end result was this board. So we wanted a space that is, you know, a resort style outdoor area. It's a classic, if you like, modern, relaxed feel. We want it to be timeless, and I'm wanting a relaxed color palette that's quite calming. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey, and I'll just quickly answer this question. What do we have? Hi Sonia, thank you very much for joining our session. So you're just wondering, what is the colour of the wall behind me? It is actually Taubmans Foxdale, and what I'll do is, when I'm finished on this screen here, I'll pop it up on the screen for you and I can show you it. Okay, so back to this. This is the mood board that I've created. So sort of bringing all the elements that we both like into one space so that we can work from it and draw from it. Okay, so the next picture is basically, this was an image of the property that we acquired when this was on realestate.com. So this is what it looked like, fairly, without being disrespectful, fairly basic, etc., etc., but really good bones to be able to create something. This is the space that we are in the process of creating, if you like. You can see that one lone palm up there in the background, but you can see the colours that we have created. Now, we've created these with Colorsmith. They're beautiful, soft, greeny tones that work really, really well within this environment, and they are extremely relaxing. So I'll quickly show you another image. Again, you can see here, white decking. We've got the 3 tones, so a monochromatic colour scheme using a green. white decking, very soft white grey limestone that's going around the pool, etc. So, and white furniture, so it's creating a very nice, relaxing resort style feel. And again, there is another image there. So what I now want to show you is, and I should just show you, there are some colours that I created. Relax, breathe, repeat. I have called them. I think they're very, very fitting for this space. And again, Lone Palm Resort, as you would have noticed that I did mention there was one lone palm there. And these are the colours and these are how they sit. So now I want to take you on my next little journey and show you how I created this colour. So you can see that up there. So I'm going to come back to me and we can come back to this afterwards. So back to me. So for me, look, I start my morning every morning with a cup of tea with some almond milk in my favourite cup that my eldest daughter gifted me. Here is my cup. I love this colour. Again, it's a beautiful soft greeny grey, very relaxing. It's how I start my day, as I've just said. So I wanted to bring this colour to life and utilise this colour in our outdoor space. And so the way that we did that was we've used an amazing app, if you like, called Colorsmith. So I'm going to show you how I created the colours because it is very easy. Anybody could do it at home. And then we can come back to the colours afterwards and I'll show you again. So I'll go back to the iPad. I'll pop myself back into the corner. You can see me there. So we're on the iPad now. Now there is an app, as you can see in the top corner there, called Colorsmith. We're going to open up the app. It's just taking a moment. Fantastic. So you're brought to a screen that looks like this and you've got the ability to create from match or create from colour library. So the colour library has been pre-populated with a world of colour, if you like, sort of grouped by family. You can go through those. There are many tones to each family and you can select a colour, you can manipulate the colour, which I'll show you how you can do soon. So you can lessen the intensity, heighten the intensity. You can use what's called combinations to find accent colours that are going to work with the colour that you have created. So it is a fantastic tool available for everybody to use. So, but for tonight, I'm going to show you how I created the colour scheme. So I have used what's called the Colorsmith reader. So we can see that here. So this is a little reader that will actually scan an object and create a colour. So in the centre there, it has an LED light source that actually scans the object. So I'm going to show you how I do this and I'll pop it onto the bottom of the cup. So the first thing I need to do is hit create from match. And we're going to go to the Colorsmith tool in the corner there. So it's very important that we wake up the device. And by that we double tap on the top and you can see that it's flashing because it connects to the app via Bluetooth. So I'm going to hit connect device. It's searching for it. We're going to connect to a black Colorsmith reader. Beautiful. Device is connected. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my device onto my cup, as you can see here, and I'm going to go create from match and scan colour. Awesome. It's given me an excellent match. So now you can see on the screen the first colour, which looks to me exactly like my mug. So what we do now is I hit select. You can see I've scanned it before and it's my favourite teacup. So from here, it's thrown me just a little bit. We can manage it. Actually, I might go down to the next one and so that we can see what I'm doing. I'll hit save my colour. Now we can name our colour. So for here, I'm going to call it breathe, and then I'll hit return and save colour. So from here, you can now create, so you can hit explore colors, and then you can lessen, once it comes back up on the screen, you can lessen the intensity, heighten the intensity, etc., until you find color tones that you really like. So let's go to the next one. We can hit save my color. Call it relax, save color, and then we'll go to the next one there. Save color. Actually, no, I think I've done that. We'll just call it something else. I beg your pardon. Repeat. Okay, so I've created 3 colors from my mug, if you like. But the next thing that's really fantastic about the Colorsmith app is I can, if I hit the, down the bottom there is a C. If I hit that, it takes me to the colors that I've created. So I can hit projects. So you can create a project and put all of the colors that you create into folders if you like. So I'm going to do that now. Right, and we're going to call this Poolside Bliss. And we'll just, hopefully, it'll take me to the last lot of colors that I have created. Yes, fantastic. Save project. So now you can see that I have a project on my screen here, a project folder. When I tap it, there's all my colors. So it is amazing what you can actually do with Colorsmith. So now I want to show you something else that you can do. So for example, let's open up Breathe. Okay, so you can now hit explore colors. So if you create the color and then you're like, you know what, I really like this, but I'm thinking that it's not quite right, or it's not quite, you know, what I had imagined, you can actually go into similar here and you can scroll along, and you can see down the bottom here as I'm moving along, there are other colors that are very similar to the color that you have created. So you can keep scrolling. So for example, I can tap that one. Oh no, that's not quite right. I can keep going. We can go to that one. So you can continually go through until you find the color of choice. And I guess similar is a little bit like, you know, when you walk into a, for example, you might go into a paint store and you're looking at colors, and then somebody, you've had a color made up for you, and it's like, oh, it's not quite right. I'd like a little bit more black, or perhaps a little bit more white, etc. This is where you can sort of play with your color. So the other thing that you can do, let's go back, we'll go back to the C, is you've got a beautiful color palette, and now you're thinking, okay, I'd like to create some interest and add another color, but I'm really not sure what color is going to work with the existing colors that I have. So for example, we can open up Breathe again, and you can see here next to manage my color is a tab that says combinations. So we can select combinations, and on the screen there you can see a palette of colors that are designed to work with the color that you have created. So the beauty of that is it takes away the guesswork of thinking, okay, what's going to work with that? I'm thinking I'd really like a blue, or I'd like a soft grey, but I'm not sure of the tone that's going to sit. So this takes all of that angst away from creating that perfect colour scheme, if you like. So this is amazing. So, okay, let's have a look here. What's the colour that I quite like within this selection? I do quite like the grey, so we could save the grey. So I'm going to hit save my colour. I'm going to add it to the Poolside List project. So I'll tap on the project there, and let's name it. And let's just call it, for example, Pool Grey. Maybe that's just a colour. Okay, save. So, and it tells you on there, it says it's saved in Poolside Bliss. So we can tap there and go to the Poolside Bliss palette, and look at that. That colour sits beautifully with the other 3 colours that we have created. So for everybody out there that is about to embark on a colour journey, and you're about to create, you know, whether it be an interior space or an exterior space, this is an amazing app that I would thoroughly recommend that you download and you have a, have a play with it. It's very easy to navigate your way around it. The tools that come with it are amazing, as I've just shown you, the Colorsmith reader itself, which has an LED light source, and it will give you a fantastic match, as you can see there. And the beauty as well is on the app itself, you can actually order. So I can now, if I want to, I'll hit the breathe. So you've created a color, and the next thing that I should show you is you're about to go into your local hardware store. You might perhaps go down to Bunnings and you're wanting to get your color made up. What you need to do is there's the order in store tab there. So if you hit that, what it does is it populates a QR code. Now this QR code contains the recipe that you need to create that color. So the formulation for that color exists within the QR code. So the beauty of this and the beauty of this program is that where the share button is, you can share the QR code across all of your social media platforms. You can airdrop, email, text, etc. So it makes it very, very easy and very accessible to be able to get color. So the other thing you can do is you can, let's just go back to this. Where are we here? I can add this to my cart. Oops. Let's go, bang. All right, maybe we won't. Here we go. Add. We'll continue shopping, add. Let's just add the whole lot. Okay, so they are added to my cart. I can then, here we are here, 4 test pots means that I will receive free shipping. So I can have all of these sent to my door, which I think is fantastic. And this is what will turn up. Complete with QR code, etc. on the top. Fantastic. So you can have your project pots sent to you at home. My next recommendation, or you'll hear me talking about this every time we have a session like this, is the most important thing you can do when you are selecting colour or when you are embarking on a project with colour is to get yourself a sample pot, get yourself a piece of cardboard at least 1 metre by 1 metre square, brush the cardboard out with your colour, move your colour around the space different times a day to see how it's going to work for you, whether it be, I'm going to come back onto the screen, whether it be for an interior project or an exterior project. And that way you can see how the colour is going to work, because things like lighting, especially when we're talking about natural lighting, artificial lighting, etc., will change the look of your colour. And certainly any surrounds will influence your colour as well. So it's really, really important. And I'm a big believer of doing the sample pot, and you won't be disappointed. I've never had anybody that gets a sample pot and brush out that metre by metre square, try the colour in their home, ever be disappointed. And we're moving towards, let's say, it's an era at the moment, if you like, the way trends are going is to certainly inject colour into your space. And these sessions are about creating confidence with colour. They are all about, I guess, empowering you with how you can use colour for your space, etc. And it's an open forum for you to ask any questions that you do have so that we can answer them for you. And with that said, I have a question here, so I'm going to answer that. And actually, before I do that, I will quickly show you, Sonia, if you're still with us, the colour that I have on my backdrop here. So I'm going to quickly bring it up onto, let's go to my laptop, pop myself up in the corner. Okay, so fantastic website available to help you select colour and to help you navigate your way on your colour journey. So your first stop is to hop onto the web, onto www.taubmans.com.au and take yourself through here. So I'm obviously on the web here and I have selected colours and paint colours. So it brings you to here. You can scroll down as I am here and you will see that all of the colours are grouped by families, which is fantastic. So if you're unsure of where to start, this is where I would begin. Now the other fantastic thing that we have here is what's called a colour visualizer. You can upload a photo, etc. of your room or use the pre-loaded photos of certain areas within this and use this to find the colour that you're thinking about using. Pop it up in here and it will pre-populate, so it gives you a visual of what that colour is going to look like within a space. Chromatic Joy, our colour forecasts. everybody should have a look at this. It is amazing. And then colour swatches. Now this is a great place that I like to visit. So, and we'll visit that now, in fact, and we'll have a look for the colour that is my backdrop here. So in here, if you go to the search engine here, and I'm going to pop in Foxdale. Oops, view colour details. So this is the colour, Sonia, that is on my backdrop here. You'll find it so you can sort of navigate your way as I have just done. Or certainly, and what I should say here is being on this site here allows you to, or gives you the ability, if you're wanting to order a sample pot from this. So Sonia, you know, if you're wanting to trial this colour, as I said before, order your sample pot, you can have it delivered to your door. Get yourself that metre by a metre piece of cardboard and brush it out and have a look. Okay, so we'll come back to me. All right, hi Melinda, thank you very much for joining our session. So how do I choose an exterior colour scheme for my Queenslander, including roof, that will not make a feature of Primrose cream window frames? Okay, so cream window frames. Well, we can certainly look at, I guess when I think about that, and I'm thinking of a Queenslander, and you're wanting a roof colour, look, the rule of thumb, or as I talked or I mentioned before about having balance. So, you know, when we talk about creating a colour scheme for an exterior, it's usually around about 3 colours, if not 4, that will allow for a beautiful balanced scheme. So I guess the question that I'll ask you before I go into giving you some colour options, because immediately I'm thinking of whether you used perhaps a soft grey that has more of a greeny undertone that's going to work quite well with the Primrose. But where are you situated? I know you've got a Queenslander, but are you coastal, etc., or are you more sort of close to the beach, so that then we can sort of work out what's going to work for you? Because I think when you're looking at doing exteriors, it's really important to take in your surroundings, and also to work out what else is happening in your street. So, you know, if you've got a very, I guess I had a question not that long ago from a lovely lady on one of these sessions, and she said, you know, I'm unsure about what I should use for the exterior of my home, given that, and immediately, you know, she'd sent her through a photo, and she was quite partial to Colorbond Monument, and then introducing surf mist, etc., etc. But then when we delved into it a little bit further, and we talked about where her house sat within the street and the style of homes that also were in the street, it sort of became more apparent of using a colour scheme that was still modern, but had more of a, if you like, an old world feel, to make the house sit within its surrounds and around the other homes really well without sort of standing out. So I guess there's things to consider when we look and when we talk about doing an exterior colour scheme. So if you can come back to me with just a little bit more information, I would be happy to help you develop a wonderful scheme and to certainly work with the Primrose windows. So you know what, that pretty well concludes our evening tonight. It looks like it's been a rather quiet evening out there, and certainly quiet up here. We've got some pretty horrendous weather. But anyhow, look, I guess I would really like to thank everybody for joining our sessions again, and to let you know that we are here every Thursday night to answer all of your colour queries, help you on any projects that you're embarking on, and certainly guide you with our beautiful portfolio of products that we have to beautify your space. So I'm going to sign off, and I will be behind the computer for half an hour or so to answer any further questions. So if you do have any questions, or you have any images that you'd like to upload, now is your time. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Oh, actually, no, next week we won't be here next week. It'll be the week after that we're back on board. So we're actually all away next week, so on conference. So if you've got any questions that you're wanting some help on now, fire away. Having said that, even though that we're not going to be live next week, certainly do keep popping your questions through the feed or to us through any of our social channels, and we can certainly answer them for you. As I always say, thank you very much and happy painting, and we'll see you again. Bye.